All right, folks, Joe Demore, your town moderator. Here we are on April 7th. I'm recording this from my office. This will probably be the shortest presentation. I've talked about in previous segments, the roundtable segments, about important issues. The purpose here is to provide a general helicopter view education of some key aspects about town meeting and, more importantly, some key issues. Now, the two considerably significant issues that have, I would say, some impact to our community has to do with the state's overall long-term strategy to allow communities, both cities and towns, to participate through their zoning in the process of creating and promoting affordable housing units, because there is a housing crisis. I think it's perhaps could be national for that matter, but certainly it's quite acute in New England and especially Massachusetts. So we have a special use a regulation in our zoning bylaws. Let me show it to you and then explain Article 22 and Article 23, again, helicopter view. So let me first project page 44 of our bylaws. Now keep in mind, again, we have an ability to make important decisions at the town meeting. Your participation is critical. We hope not to have to struggle to get a minimum of 100 people, which some years we've had to do that. I'm hoping for several hundred people. We do have important issues such as the budget and a whole host of things. But the ones that have been in the news a lot are the communities, the MBTA Communities Act and ADUs, accessory dwelling units. So let me give you a little bit of a view here as to what this looks like. I'm going to make a projection in just a moment. There we go. Go over here, go over here, and go over here. All right, let's take a look at this first. So special use regulations, you see this section 7.1 accessory apartments. This was approved back in 2018. And I'll read a little bit of this information here, but basically the idea is to provide for a range of housing options or types in the town of Groveland through the alteration and reuse of existing building so that existing homeowners can accommodate the needs of elderly family members with disabilities and to provide suitable housing for caregivers. I mean, that's the spirit, if you will, of this bylaw. Now, there have been some recent changes to Massachusetts general law, and what the two articles pertain to at town meeting this year is that we want to make our bylaw, we want to amend, we want to make changes to our bylaw so it becomes compliant with the updated Massachusetts general law in this section. So just so you get an idea, this is a permitting information, a permitting process. There are limitations. The principal, I'll read this here, the principal dwelling unit or accessory apartment must be occupied by the owner for the purposes of this section. And then it defines what the owner is. There are some floor area limitations. There are border limitations, total number of bedrooms, information about utilities and so forth. So what I now want to show you is, okay, so what do we need to change? Now keep in mind that when you look at an article, it's usually submitted by someone, and then there's an opinion that is given by some key boards, such as the planning board and the select board. So we have two articles here, Article 22 and Article 23, and you can see that we're going to need a simple majority to vote for or against it. And it's telling us here that the planning board recommends voting for it. That's what favorable action is. And the select board recommends voting for it. That's favorable action. So let's take a look at it. Article 22, to see if the town will vote to delete and replace the words dwelling single family definition from Article 2. So it's not just the title, but also the entire definition. And whereas we've seen articles sometimes with things crossed out, what we've done this year is we've made things bold because it's kind of unsightly and kind of confusing to look at documents with things that are scratched out and then you have to read below. So we want to eliminate dwelling, single family, a structure on a lot containing not more than one dwelling unit. Now, this is really important. I want to highlight this right here. An approved accessory apartment shall be considered as part of a single family dwelling for the purposes of this bylaw. Now, what's interesting now also is that the recent changes to the Mass General laws wants us to replace the word accessory apartments with accessory dwelling units. So I'm going to read it to you. Article 22, we need to get rid of dwelling single family, a structure in a lot containing no more than one dwelling unit. Yes or no? Are you going to be in favor of it or not? Who submitted this article? It was the building inspector. I haven't talked to Sam, but I'm probably quite sure that he is strongly recommending favorable action as well. He will be available should he need to be called on for any clarification on any details. I will do that. But we also have some really good information that we can get from folks on the planning board and even members of the select board who have studied this, very well. The purpose of this change is to make the language consistent with the new MGL Chapter 48 regulations related to accessory dwelling units. Now, 23, therefore, now changes accessory apartments to accessory dwelling units to read as follows. And I'm going to highlight it for you here. Number 1, shall be permitted and constructed in compliance with MGL 40A sections 1 and 3. Okay. Number 2, special permit ADUs. The Groveland Zoning Board of Appeals may by special permit as outlined in Article 14, Section 6, allow ADUs to, another section, have an increase in gross floor area of up to 10% if the configuration of the structure makes strict compliance with this requirement difficult, or to take any other action relative to. So again, this has been submitted by the building inspector. We need a simple majority. The whole idea here is to go back to the first thing that I showed you, the zoning bylaws that we put in place in 2018. In this section here, special use regulations are no longer compliant with the changes to Massachusetts law. And that's the purpose here. Is this complicated? Of course it is. But can you imagine if you come to the meeting and you've never heard about this and now you're reading it and minutes later you have to vote on it? This is what I'm hoping to do with this series called the Roundtable series. Now, I think this is my third one. I keep calling it Roundtable, but I'm not discussing this with anyone. I'm just presenting as a single person here to you because we're getting close to the date. It's April 28th. There's a lot of information out there. So I'm trying to cull away those things that are really essential for people to be prepared for. So I do invite you to reach out to the select board, the town administrator, the building inspector, should you have any further questions. If you're looking for additional information, let me know. I'll try to get that routed to the person or persons that would know more about this. This document, of course, is available online. If you're looking for it, let me know. I'd be happy to send it to you. And again, let's have a great town meeting. Let's get some participation going. Let's make some important decisions together that have a very important and significant impact to our way of life, to the community that we live in. So I hope this was helpful. Should you have any questions, or I can assist you with directing information from reliable sources, please send me an email at damorcos@gmail.com. That's spelled my name, Damore, and then Coes, like Charlie Oscar Sam, COS, damorcos@gmail.com. And I'll see if I can assist you with getting some more information. See you at the meeting.